Welcome back to economics. We last time talked about oligopolies. Now today we are going to focus on monopoly. Of course, when I say the word monopoly, probably the board game itself comes to mind. Some of you are having some pleasant thoughts on monopoly. Some of you are probably having some negative thoughts on monopoly. But I know all of us have probably seen or heard about the game Monopoly. If you have never actually finished a game of Monopoly before, don't worry, you're probably like most Americans today. On page 173, there is a box entitled The Origin of the Monopoly Game. That's just some extra info for you. Please read that to yourself. Once you have finished, please unpause the video and we'll resume. A monopoly consists of only one firm. It sets the prices. It is impossible to enter the industry and very difficult for the firm to exit. If you didn't catch all of that, don't worry. It's in the following notes. Number one, there is only one supplier in the industry. Question might be asked, can you think of any monopolies? Maybe if you think more local, maybe that'll help you. Immediately my thoughts are city water as well as sewage. That's a type of monopoly. Electricity, natural gas, garbage disposal services. Those are all examples of monopolies. And yet there are different types of monopolies too. The first type of monopoly we're going to mention is called a natural monopoly. Here's the definition. A natural monopoly occurs when a natural barrier blocks any other company from joining the industry and competing. These types of monopolies are hard to find since very few firms have total control of a single natural resource. Another type of monopoly is called a legal monopoly. A definition for that is a legal monopoly results when the government gives a firm the exclusive right to provide a good or service. An example of a legal monopoly would have been any of the public utilities that we've mentioned. Legal monopolies are best seen with public utilities, natural gas, water, sewage, and electric companies. You think about them, waste management, or Florida Power and Light, just to name a few. Imagine if Bradenton, the town we're in, had multiple sewer plant companies and they had to dig up different pipelines for different customers. That sounds extremely expensive and inefficient. So by allowing legal monopolies in public utilities, it helps keep prices down. Number two, only one product and there are no available substitutes. If there's only one product and there are no substitutes, does the one business need to feel threatened about losing its money? The answer is no. However, worth noting, monopolies have little incentive to innovate or improve its products or services. For that very reason, there's no substitutes. They control the one product. They don't need to feel threatened about losing their monopoly or their business. On page 174, please read the box entitled Benefits of Competition. Read that box to yourself. Once you have finished, press play and we'll resume. Another thing worth noting is that competition encourages both quality and efficiency. Imagine if you had a monopoly, you could charge exorbitant prices and be as wasteful as you wanted to be. Okay, that sounds great for the businessman, but it's not good business. Dealing with competition, it forces a business to innovate or improve its products or services. Competition encourages both quality and efficiency. Number three, A third characteristic of monopoly is that they control the price to an extent. A monopoly sets the price, the customer must pay the price, right? End of story. That's how it works in monopoly. Well, that's not entirely the end of the story. For example, the government can regulate how much a monopoly can charge for a product that has no available substitutes. For example, the electric company identifies how much the cost will be for the use of electricity. The government adds an appropriate profit for the company, and that becomes the final price. So for a legal monopoly, the government does have a say on what the price is going to be. Another thing worth noting, another reason consumers in a free economy need not overly fear the power of a monopoly is because consumers can choose to go without a company's product by buying alternative products or by inventing a substitute. I know that was a long sentence. I'm expecting you to pause the video, rewind it so that you get it all written down, because when I say it's notable, it means you should probably write it down. For example, if electricity becomes extremely expensive, people will start using natural gas or coal for heating and cooking needs, or entrepreneurs in search of profits will scramble to invent a substitute. So they can control the price, but only to an extent. And then lastly, it is impossible to enter and difficult to leave a monopoly. By definition, it is impossible to start a firm in a monopoly. Then it wouldn't be a monopoly. Significant barriers are in place, whether natural, legal, or regulatory. Also, it is difficult for a monopoly to leave the industry. An electric company can't just shut itself down. Even in the case of worker strikes, the government has even called upon the military to take over the operation temporarily. That's all the notes we're going to cover for today. I saw a video on YouTube a little bit ago that I think I'm going to post on it. Basically, it gives you some tips on how to play the game of Monopoly well to win the game of Monopoly. You can take it or leave it on this video, but in a time in which, guess what, we're quarantined in our homes anyways, perhaps reinventing the use of board games with family members just might help you guys pass the time. Hope you all have a good rest of the day. Be good, do good. Bye.